Welcome back for episode 5. We're going to start off by putting the CB radio on antenna on the back. It's going to be a big 105 centimeter long whip, I think. It's over here. And what we're going to do is put it in the rear quarter panel so it'll sit straight up. And I'm going to take this long end and whip it around and hook it into the roof rack. So it basically sits in the car and they go like this. So, let's bring this over here. Oh, alright, so this is our plate. The antenna goes through this hole, and these 4 holes get bolted in, which grounds it. And we're going to put this right here. So what I'm going to do is tape it off before I drill into it. The antenna will come out of this hole and we'll bolt it through here. So what we're going to have to do, make our marks. Take the whip and just take this end that's kind of hooked and that's it. Now we got our CB antenna that is plugged in at the base there, wrapped around, giving that nice curled whip that I enjoy the look of. And then right there, I don't know if you can see that, a wire sitting right there. That's the other side of the antenna, which antenna wire, which I'm going to put underneath the carpet when I put the carpet in. But first I got to vacuum all this crud out. So alright guys, so now that we got the brush guard and the front bumper officially on, I got the first part of our livery, which is just Honda, but we're going to go ahead and slap these on because I cannot wait to get the rest of the stickers in a week to put them all on at once, because that's just my ADHD. So this is pretty much what it's going to be. So plan to put this pretty much right here. I'm just going to have to make sure I measure it out perfectly on both sides. That's it. Next we'll have the mountains here with a compass, and then we'll have a tree line going along here. So those are supposed to come sometime in the next week and a half. I guess we'll see. But for right now, that's gonna be the first part. So this one will be the one that goes to the brush guard, which obviously I don't have a wire coming up from that from the brush guard to this yet. This wire will be the positive in, which will pretty much give power to this whole switch gang and also power all those lights that are connected to this. So this first one is the spotlights, which are the ones on the roof. This one will be the ones on the brush guard. These ones I don't have lights for yet. These are probably going to be my sideways lights whenever I get those. Or if I decide to get ones that will go at the base of the windshield on the corners of the hoods, which I might get those instead. I'll wire them up to this switch. And then these are my reverse lights, so that if I'm backing up and it's dark, I can switch this on and have more light behind me. So, and then this is just a multimeter, voltmeter, that pretty much tells you what voltage is coming in from the battery. And that will go right where these 3 screws are. Alright, we got a 20 amp fuse in line here. This goes straight to the positive battery, for basically the positive inlet for the fuse, the main fuse box under the hood, because that wire is basically right on the other side of the bottom of the windshield here. So it goes in through the wire harness hole, where it would basically go right underneath that fuse box and then go connect to the engine and into the ECU. So I have it coming down through that hole right here, and I'm going to feed this guy through here a little bit. make sure. Let's see. Next, all I gotta do is connect it to the power inlet, which is that little red cord right there with the red connector on the end. And now we have, I didn't twist this tight enough. All right. And we're just gonna crimp it nice and tight. All right, so now we have power in with an inline fuse. And I'll just tuck this underneath. With power connected to the battery terminal, I will have power to all my lights. So, and that panel will sit right there. The wire's tucked behind it, right there, and then my CB radio will sit just above it. So all those wires will be hidden. I'll be taking away this whole entire pocket, which kind of blows, but that's all right. I can't put it in the ceiling where I wish to have it to keep it, but it'll be easier to see the voltmeter with it down here anyway. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wire up the CB radio real quick. And we have a positive, which I wired on this little fuse tap, which has, it goes into a fuse and removes the fuse from the spot, putting it in this first spot. And then you add a second fuse on top of that for this positive out, which goes to the CB radio. So what I'm gonna do is feed this sucker through the dash. It's around the top. So now what we're gonna do is take this ground spot off. My socket wrench type is. Just gonna put the wire right in there and sandwich it right down. All right, so now it's grounded. What we're gonna do is take this, and I'm gonna take out the auxiliary fuse, which, let me get my fuse panel. There it is, number 8. So 8 would be this one right here. I'm just gonna pull that out, and then I'm just gonna put that right in its place. And now the CB radio should have power, and all I gotta do is hook up the antenna wire and the mic. And put that back. There's a flat panel that clips in to the top here once the rest of the dash is in, and that has the U-shaped bracket that these little side knobs slide onto, and it'll just sit just like that, and then I'll have my switch gang right underneath it there. we got the switch turned on. We got everything wired up. It is now too dark to see, but we're gonna hook up to the battery on the old car and see if they come on. Look at that. We got all three colors. We got our brush guard lights on white and orange at the same time. High beams are on. Everything is LED except for the blinker light. The little orange light there is also LED. And speaking of that orange light, the orange accent light behind these white lights are tied into that. And they all tie into this switch here. These are the brush guard. These ones here on the right are the reverse lights. So I want to leave that off so the neighbor isn't questioning what the hell's going on, because I'm sure the light of the sun is already enough. But I turn off the roof lights. You see, because the headlights are on, those stay orange with those nice accent lights. So when the headlights turn off, you'll see the orange lights on the top will also turn off at the same time. Just like that. So yeah, we got everything wired up. All our lights, our fog lights are wired up. The roof lights, front and back. Everything's wired up to the switch gang. So when I turn those off, we'll turn off those. And yeah, we have our voltmeter reading 14.2, which is what the alternator on the engine's running. So that's good. That means I got a nice strong connection too. But yeah, we got our roof, brush guard, reverse roof lights, and then these guys are probably going to be pods that'll go at the base of the windshield here and there eventually. And for right now, that'll be it. Our CB radio should turn on when we turn the ignition switch to on. So CB radio is also wired up. When I turn the ignition switch to on, let's see, that turns on. I'm probably not going to get any sound with the mic unplugged, but the mic's broken anyway, so I got to replace that. Alright, so we've managed to get the front bumper paint matched and clear coated with the brush guard on officially. We've managed to wire up the brush guard lights and the roof lights and get in our carpet, front seats, our center console, our dashboard, and then wire up our switch gang with all our lights and our CB radio. So all that's in, and we're going to go ahead and start working on some suspension-like things in the next episode. I'm working on the skid plate, finishing up the bolt holes for that so we can actually get it bolted to the car. That way, once we put the engine in, it can just go right on. But we're also going to be working on some splash guards that will go in the gap between the frame and the subframe in the front to help keep some of the mud from splashing up into the engine bay, keeping it cleaner and water out of the electronic components. And then from there, I might start moving the lift over. I'm probably going to put the lift in the rear first, and then once we're a little closer to tearing the engine out of this one, I'll probably start pulling the front out, because that's all going to take a couple of days to do. But you guys will only see one episode of all that. So the lift might be moving over. We'll be doing the splash guards, the skid plate, and I might be moving over the spare tire carrier as well. So we'll see if I have time for that. But yeah, this is going to be episode 6. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the progress, and we'll see you in episode 7.